case. He asserts again. 4 times in the first verse, you say, "Free my N-word Melvin." Does that refer to Melly or Jamel? Asserts is right again. Christine Bradley, the prosecutor, made a lot of stuff reference to gangs and all that other stuff, and you answered that you were not affiliated with any gang. I assume that to be true, correct?
I'm just confused why his lawyer's not letting him answer some of these questions that's like, I don't even know why she stopping him from questions. He can't even say he said something in the music video. Like, these are things that you can't even hide for real, because it's like, it's public already. Clock in, clock in. Black Gotta just walked in. Team Black Gotta stand up, man. Yo. All right, we back with another video with that man Fredo, and it has a lot to do with the YNW Melly murder trial case. We seeing a lot go on with this case, man. Some of the shocking things that just happened was YNW Portland taking a plea deal. Half of us felt like, damn, that plea deal may put Melly in some trouble. But there's people coming out saying that that plea deal may have nothing to do with Melly's personal plea that he may take or may not take, or him just going through trial himself. Nah, it's very different, you know, from what I'm used to, but I ain't gonna put nothing past it. You know what I'm saying? So now, leading up to the new trial, they bringing up this Fredo Bang thing again because they allege that Fredo Bang was the one who picked Melly up. So I guess they trying to bring that back up in court. And, you know, they tried to bring Fredo to the last trial date. And I think Fredo made it real clear about why he wasn't able to attend. Because he didn't even get the message. They sent it to the wrong person. Don't forget, I'm one of the ones who really with it. Alright, stop playing with that man. But we got that dude, Cuff Boys. He dropped the video breaking down the paperwork of the situation. So we just gonna watch it, guys, and we gonna see what new information we gonna get out of this.
It's after the murders of YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, Melly texted Fredo Bang in a panic, saying Brazy is f***ed right now. And quickly after, they have an 8-minute phone conversation which Fredo Bang says he doesn't recall. And then Melly sends his pin drop location for him to come pick him up. Fredo Bang allegedly replied saying, "I'm on my way, blood. I got you." Prosecutors say this means Fredo was the one who picked up Melly after the murders. And when pressed about it in a sworn deposition, Fredo wouldn't answer. What makes this such a big deal is that Melly is being sued for $50 million. And here's his friend who allegedly picked him up right after the murders where he could have blood on him. Questions. I'm gonna read this full deposition. Hit subscribe. Let's go, boys. Do you recall meeting with a prosecutor for the state of Florida in this case? Yes. Do you recall whether she offered you what is called immunity, meaning if you talk they wouldn't prosecute you? Mr. DeCowden is his lawyer, and he goes, objection to form. Miss Davis is also his lawyer, and she goes, I'm going to instruct Mr. Givens to assert his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And Mr. Phillips, the family for the lawyer, says about whether he met with Miss Bradley and was offered immunity, question mark. That wasn't the question. The question was he was offered immunity. Do you recall whether you were offered immunity in this case? I think I was. I can't really recall. So the prosecutors in the criminal case offered him immunity to snitch on Melly, basically, is what I'm gathering from that. When you say this, you're referring to the criminal case, not the civil. Obviously, yeah. Fredo says he's sober. Have you been convicted of a crime? Yes. I'm going to object. Ask the witness to assert his Fifth Amendment right. Why are they objecting to that? He can't talk about his conviction of a crime in the past? Mr. Phillips says this is background information about his ability to testify about whether he has been convicted of a crime in a prior incident. I don't see how it has bearing on his Fifth Amendment rights in this case. Fredo Bang's lawyer responds saying that wouldn't come into trial anyway. Actually, it absolutely would come in at trial because that would be one of the first questions they would ask. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? We should absolutely be permitted to ask if he has any felony convictions. And I know he has a felony conviction. And that was the next question. Wasn't Fredo Bang arrested for like attempted murder? In 2016, he was arrested for charges of attempted murder. 2 years in jail for attempted murder in 2018. I got arrested, I pled guilty, I did time, came home on parole. Attempted murder, that was one of them. Illegal use, stolen firearm, battery. You were incarcerated for 2 to 3 years, released on parole. Yes. How did you first meet YNW Melly? For a feature. Track wanted to be your manager. He has before, but I don't know if it was at a specific time. Do you recall doing an interview with Vlad? Oh my God. Of course, a Vlad interview is being brought up. The amount of times I've seen Vlad interviews brought up and depositions or in trials is crazy. It happens a lot. They play the Vlad interview. Who is the...
That's actually one of the reasons a lot of people be feeling like Vlad worked with them people. But that ain't even the case. The case is Vlad really did bring all the steppers on the podcast. And they be telling real stories.
The real G Money. That is one of my best friends that have died. How'd he die? Some people say he was shot, but I don't know. I didn't see it. What? What do you mean you don't know how your best friend died? What? Was anyone arrested? No. How mad are you over that situation? I'm real mad. If you found out that person who did it was arrested and convicted, would that make you feel any better? No. No, because people say I don't wish jail nobody. You know, you hear that a lot. I most definitely don't. You feel the same way, right? Do you feel the same way that you wouldn't wish jail on anybody? Yeah. Even the murder of your best friend? Yeah. Why not? Because I done been to jail and I don't like being treated like an animal. That's what you treated like, so I don't wish on anybody.
Oh, so this is a whole Vlad interview that Fredo did that they bringing up in trial? Crazy work.
You were lying about when you said you moved to Miami. Yeah, I didn't move at the time because I can't leave and move. I probably was visiting on travel passes, but I couldn't legally move. Is your parole over? Yes. So he just admitted to lying about moving to Miami at a certain time? I don't think that's that big of a deal, but I think he's just attacking his credibility a little bit. Do you have anger issues? Nah. Was that another lie to an interviewer? Nah, I've been working on it. Okay, fair enough. I'm in a good place now. Do you recall how long before that feature you met Melly? I don't recall. Do you recall whether you have ever... I think I met him once or twice. What about Sack? Probably met him once or twice. What about Bortland? I met him a couple times. Have you ever been in business with Track? Music business? Yeah. Did something for his artist not too recently. Have you and Melly ever been signed in the same label? Label like what? Def Jam? Yeah. Nah. Because he signed with what? 300? Probably. I'm not really sure about his deal. I've never seen his paperwork. Is that the truth or lie during an interview? That your opinion is that jail's worse than dying? I would think that is my opinion. Is this the one where you talk about the courtroom phobia? I don't think so. Let's see. You watch a lot of Vlad, huh? Fredo Bang, like, why is this guy questioning me about so much Vlad interviews? I mean, you know, my voice is to be the voice of Christopher Thomas Jr. Unfortunately, the only place to do that is in the courts, so you know it requires witnesses. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I appreciate the support. Back to the video, boys. Is that true? The only time people are happy in jail is when they sleep? Kind of opinionated. That's your opinion? Yeah. Were you hanging with Jamel before he got locked up? Can you make the question more specific? Yeah. I wasn't with him when he got arrested, so I can't say that. Before he's arrested, even after he's arrested, you referred to Jamel as being one of your best friends. Is that true? Yeah, I got love for him. So they just played more Vlad interviews, and Fredo Bang goes, I did lie right there. So he's admitting he lied in the Vlad interview. What did you lie about? When I said that was right before the passing of his friends, my video came out after they died. They were in the video, so that is a lie. I don't know how I said that. Who's in the video? Sack and Juvie. They're in the video with me. They're in the Kill Ya? Yeah. Oh, they're in the Kill Ya music video. Just probably standing in the background or something. This is what the lawyer's supposed to do, just attack this guy's credibility. Now they're playing no jumper interviews. Do you still carry around G Money's ID? Yes. Why? Sentimental reasons? Said you own a house in Miami. As of 2020? Yeah. March of 2020? Was that true? Yeah. Do you know when you bought it? Was that the same house you lived in when Juvie was shot? Who? When Juvie was shot? I don't recall. Did I own which house? The same house you owned in 2020? No, 2018 I didn't own a house. Did you ever buy house A? Nah. So you moved from house A and bought house B. Pow. Fair enough. What? Do you know about anything whether or not Jamel Dimmons killed his friend Christopher Thomas? Nah. I'm going to instruct my client to assert his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. He said nah before his lawyer stepped in. So what happened there is I asked a question, you answered, and then your attorney took the Fifth Amendment for you. So I'm going to re-ask the question. He re-asks the question and then he asserts again. A very interesting question to assert your Fifth Amendment right to. You've done videos wearing Free Melly shirts, correct? Videos. You said you were in the studio with Melly thousands of times. Is that true? I was probably lying. Okay, do you recall whether it's hundreds or thousands of times or how many times? At the moment, I never have been inside a studio 1,000 times. So I can't really give you a specific number, but I know it wasn't no 1,000 times. Okay. Do you believe what your shirt says that Melly should be free? I don't wish jail nobody, but yeah. So you weren't on the scene when the shooting happened, correct? I'm going to assert my Fifth Amendment. What the f? Can't even answer that? Are you doing so? Yeah. Mr. Phillips responds and says, so under the Fifth Amendment, you have the right to not incriminate yourself, and you're electing that. In civil cases, a jury can be told they are going to be aware that you took the Fifth Amendment, and there could be a negative inference. That's the difference here. A jury is allowed to make that negative inference. Only in civil cases, really. Basically, he's staying silent because the truth could hurt him or someone else. That's what that means in civil cases. They're allowed to make that inference. And this could show the jury that he's covering for himself or Melly, and that he knows something, incriminating details. A jury instruction that says they can consider you took a Fifth Amendment. In a civil case, I'm just trying to understand whether you were on the scene when any shots were fired at or in the direction of Mr. Phillips. There's no pending question. In regards to the question you're trying to get at, he's already raised his Fifth Amendment privilege. They don't want to get into anything involving that. Interesting. Were you paid to wear a Free Melly shirt? Were you compensated? No. He admits in a Vlad interview him and Melly have talked on the phone. In what way since Jamel Dimmons have been locked up have you communicated with him? Only on a video visit or phone. But he hasn't had phone. There's been no communication via cell phone? Nah. When he did have phone privileges, he would call or he would get video chat. I'm talking about a contraband phone. Oh, nah. I wouldn't even take a call like that. Okay. He's asking about a cut in the Vlad interview. Y'all didn't cut this? No, I didn't cut the piece. Does that song exist? There's a song with you, Melly, and King Von on it? Yeah. Has it been released? No. That's a crazy song. We all know allegedly King Von was basically a serial killer in Chicago before he was famous, so that's all alleged. But you know, you were subpoenaed for trial and they didn't have the trial. They were supposed to re-subpoena me and I didn't get it. Okay, so the reason you weren't available for trial is because you weren't under subpoena. Nah, I didn't get a subpoena to be there. Ah, I was wondering, I think in the first trial, how he wasn't a witness on the stand, and there it is. You said you didn't know nothing about the situation. Is that true? Yeah. So you don't know whether a bunch of people met at your house early morning hours after a murder. I'm going to object. I exercise my right to remain silent. Kind of crazy, right? Like everyone meets up at his house the morning after and he doesn't know anything. It's kind of crazy. He's asserting. It's very sus. And do you know enough about you were texting with the person charged with double murder within minutes or hours after the murder occurred? Asserts again. What I'm trying to understand is, why do you have two different answers? Why do you say you know nothing about it, but you seem to have information in the minutes or hours after this occurred? Asserts again. So what you told Vlad is you know nothing about what happened on the night of October 25th or the early morning hours of October 26th. Is that true? I told Mr. Bang I'm going to assert. Oh my God, he almost answered it again. He's about to say I told. In this video, you appear to be laughing after talking about not knowing about it. Why? What was funny about this? The way Vlad asked questions is kind of funny. Did you correct Vlad at any time that he indicated that people went to your house after a murder? Nah. You know what, Miss Davis? Do you want to weigh in on that? Yes, Mr. Gibbons, I'm going to instruct you to exercise your right to remain silent. When did you meet Kanye with Mr. Demons? Sometimes when he was out of jail. California? No. Somewhere in Florida. Kanye pulled up on them. 30 seconds probably. Did you have any conversation with Mr. Demons about the rap group was fighting over the rights of YNW? No, I don't really get in people's business. Seeing the beauty in crazy people, do you know anything about Mr. Demons rapped a lot about having split personalities? Do you know anything about kind of what this is, you know, mental health or mental diagnosis was? No, when I was talking, I was referring to the way he dressed, the way he moved and operate is very different from how he's brought up. Okay, do you know who Melvin is? You will have to be more specific. We got Jamel, we got Melly, and Melvin. Were you aware that sometimes Jamel Demons went by street name or character named Melvin? I think he just called himself different things, just like all of us had different nicknames and stuff. They're talking about lyrics in one of his songs where he talks about not talking to the feds. It's don't want to talk, pause. The feds probably got my digits. The feds, question mark? Meaning I don't want to talk to people because my conversation may be heard or something like that. Oh, like a wiretap on his phone.
So they even breaking up the Free Melly song that we played at the beginning of this video. It's crazy. I'm trying to figure out, what is all of this information going to make the case? How is this information going to make the case stronger? If anybody knows, let me know in the comments section.
In reference to Jamel Demons case, absolutely not. And they assert, isn't that exactly what you told Vlad though, that you had nothing to do with this and you keep your name out of it? Yeah, I probably tell Vlad that. And that is true, yeah. Wait. I'm going to instruct you to exercise your Fifth Amendment right. Oh my God. This is so funny, seeing the lawyer step in. Is the part of glorifying murder or taking lives in any way related to Jamel Demons' case? He asserts again. 4 times in the first verse, you say, free my M-word Melvin. Does that refer to Melly or Jamel? Asserts is right again. Christine Bradley, the prosecutor, made a lot of stuff reference to gangs and all that other stuff, and you answered that you were not affiliated with any gang. I assume that to be true, correct?
I'm just confused why his lawyer's not letting him answer some of these questions that's like, I don't even know why she stopping him from questioning. He can't even say he said something in the music video. Like, these are things that you can't even hide for real, because it's like, it's public already. So, I don't know, man. I guess the lawyer know what they doing.
Does that refer to Melly or Jamel? Asserts is right again. Christine Bradley, the prosecutor, made a lot of stuff reference to gangs and all that other stuff, and you answered that you were not affiliated with any gang. I assume that to be true, correct? There's a repeated red bandana in this video. Yes, that is not mine, nor is that a machete. I'm pretty sure if you start the video over, you might see somebody else holding that in the video. There's at least one individual flashing letter B. Is that significant in gang culture? I don't know, it might be the first letter of his first name. We all know what B means, bro. Miss Bradley asked you on page 32 about when Mr. Demons was at your house on October 26th if you gave him clothes, and you said you don't really recall him taking off any of his clothes or changing clothes that day. Do you recall that? Yeah. His lawyers step in to assert his rights right when they start talking about Melly changing clothes. There's also a discussion about Wi-Fi. Mr. Demons connected to your Wi-Fi on October 26th at 8:47 a.m. and 12:27 p.m. And you testified you couldn't recall the times. Do you recall that? A search is right again. So Melly's phone connected to his house Wi-Fi too. I think I remember that in the first trial. Did Mariah Hamilton visit your house on October 26th? I don't remember. Did Felicia Holmes visit? Who is that? Mariah Hamilton's mother? I don't know. Did Jamie King visit your house? I don't recall. Did Adrian Davis? I don't even know who that is. Did Dontavius Withers? Don't know who that is. Travion Glass? Don't know who that is. Quillen Henry? aka Bortland? Oh, Bortland? No, I don't recall that. Did Melly visit your house? Assert his right. So every time Melly gets brought up, his lawyers are very sure to assert his right. Okay, why did all these people, including some people you do not know, go to your house on October 26, 2018? A search is right again. Why, after being near homicide, were people accessing your Wi-Fi at your house on October 26? A search is right. On page 38 of your statement with Miss Bradley, you were asked, did Jamel Demons ever give you a gun? And you say no. Did he ever ask you to give him a gun? You said you don't recall. So I'm going to ask you that question. Do you recall if Mr. Demons ever asked you to give him a gun? A search is right. You were asked about an 8-minute conversation between 4:04 a.m. and 4:12. So that sounds like when Melly called him when Melly was in the woods after the murders. You called Jamel Demons and spent 498 seconds on the phone with him. You say okay, and then she asks, what did you talk about for 8 minutes? And you say you don't recall the conversation. So you do admit that you had an 8-minute conversation with Jamel Demons on October 26 at 4:04 a.m. A search is right. Did you see him on FaceTime when you picked him up that morning on October 26? And you say you don't recall. And didn't you admit that you picked up Jamel Demons in the morning hours of October 26? Wait a minute, his lawyer says. I'm sorry, I'm going to instruct you to exercise your right. You just...
Hold up, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to get it together a little bit. Hold up now. Why they keep asserting the rights after already answering the first question? That just sound crazy.
The impression that Mr. Demons was attacked? Specifically, you say I was under the impression I've been through like criminal situations, so I don't like getting in people's business. I was under the impression that he was attacked. How did you learn that Jamel Demons was attacked? Social media. And then he asserts his right. Social media? That has to be a lie there. The social media line? I mean, there's a lot of evidence he went and picked him up. Jameson Francois told the police that you were at the house on October 26. Do you dispute that? And then he asserts his right. Oh my God. He points out his phone number and he goes, yeah, you received a text message and a pin drop from Jamel Demons at 4:45 a.m., correct? I'm going to assert my right. Won't even answer about the pin drop. That Melly allegedly sent him to be picked up. At 4:49 a.m., 4 minutes later, you actually do that twice. You tell Mr. Demons, I'm on the way. Blood, I got you. I'm going to assert my right. Why do you refer to Jamel Demons as blood? Assert his right. We all know what blood means, right? I mean, there's evidence Melly was talking to blood gang members in his email, so. He asked him about Melly's phone number, and he asserts his right again. Do you recall Mr. Demons sending a message that said, Brazy as fuck right now, blood, what the fuck? Asserts his right. Are you aware that anybody that borrowed your cell phone on the early morning hours of October 26? Asserts his right. Melly's phone was lost the morning after the murder, remember? So I think what he's going for here is the fact that Melly borrowed his phone. Isn't it true that you drove Jamel Demons, who goes by YNW Melly, to your house in the early morning hours of October 20? Asserts his right. And on October 26, 2018, friends of Mr. Demons, including his mother, came to your house to discuss the shootings of Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas. Asserts his right. Do you recall the discussion in your house about meeting to go to a field to find a firearm? The bloody weapon, remember? Asserts his right. Did you drive your car to a field to assist people to look at your firearm? Asserts his right. Did you assist with the disposal of a firearm? Asserts his right. Have you heard of any other suspects linked to the murders? Asserts his right. Asserts his right about clothes changing again. Were you aware of Jacoby Millsbury at your house? Who is that? Asserts his right. When you first found out that Christopher Thomas had been shot, did you call the police? Asserts his right. All right, that's pretty much it for the grilling of Fredo Bang by the family's lawyers.
All right, so basically they put, Fredo in the hot seat. And, the reason why they did it could be for multiple reasons. They tried their hardest to try to place Melly in areas because, obviously the pin drops ain't enough. Obviously the phone location ain't enough. So they try to find any way, shape, or form to kind of make Melly's locations as accurate as possible so it don't be no questions, And on top of that, we got a whole lot of other stuff we got to figure out. I feel like this is the least of what's to come when the trial comes about again. But if it doesn't play out the way that they assume it's going to play out, I feel like this case could ultimately lead to Melly being found not guilty. Because if Bortland took this plea deal and that plea deal actually benefits Melly in a way, and I know it sounds weird, right? Like, how can his plea deal of admitting to accessory after the fact benefit Melly? It's so many things that could end up happening, man. Like, for one instant, it could have been somebody whole different that was probably in the car, or who's to say that Melly was the one actually in the whip? Who's to say that Melly was actually there, period? And that's the biggest thing of this whole case, bro. So we'll see how this plays out, bro. Give it y'all next video.